He almost gassed New York's subway system. He shopped for pocket nuclear weapons. He tried to murder a pope, and a $25 million mystery still hangs in the darkness. Tonight, 25 shadows of death cast by the world's most wanted terrorist.
Stay to the end. Number 1 involves money that disappeared and questions the FBI won't answer.
Born rich, died hiding, changed everything in between.
1979, joins Afghan jihad against Soviet forces. The shy rich boy becomes a hardened warrior who learns that violence can topple superpowers.
1988, founds Al-Qaeda, the base, turning guerrilla warfare into global terrorism. What started as freedom fighting becomes systematic murder of civilians.
6 feet 4 inches tall, walking with a cane, eyes like ice. His shadow still inspects your luggage at every airport.
Number 25, toy bombs for children. Picture a bright red toy car abandoned on a dusty Afghan road. A child sees it, runs over with excitement and reaches out to play. The explosion takes both hands and most of his face. This wasn't accidental warfare, it was calculated child murder. Al-Qaeda fighters allegedly scattered toy-like explosive devices along refugee routes, specifically targeting the natural curiosity of children who had lost everything in the war. The devices were sophisticated enough to look genuinely appealing. Bright colors, familiar shapes, even sound effects that would attract attention from a distance. But hidden inside were pressure-sensitive explosives designed to detonate when small hands tried to pick them up. Medical workers treating the victims described a horrific pattern. Children arriving at field hospitals with identical injuries, severe damage to hands and faces, but bodies largely intact. The explosives were calibrated to maim rather than kill, ensuring maximum psychological impact on families and communities. The psychological warfare was deliberate. Communities that found these devices became paralyzed with fear, unable to let their children play outside or explore their surroundings. This terror served Al-Qaeda's strategic goals by making civilian populations more compliant and less likely to cooperate with coalition forces. Number 24, ricin-laced cigarettes.
Imagine opening a pack of Marlboro cigarettes at a US military base in Iraq. You light up, take a drag, and within hours, you're dying from ricin poisoning, a biological weapon disguised as nicotine addiction.
Intelligence agencies intercepted communications suggesting Al-Qaeda operatives were planning to soak cigarettes in ricin, a deadly toxin extracted from castor beans, then smuggle them onto American military bases through normal supply channels. The plan was elegantly simple and absolutely evil. Ricin is odorless, tasteless, and lethal in tiny amounts. A single contaminated cigarette could kill within 72 hours, with symptoms that initially resembled flu or food poisoning, making detection nearly impossible until it was too late. The psychological impact would have been devastating. Every cigarette smoked by American soldiers would become a potential death sentence, turning a common stress relief into Russian roulette. The fear factor would have disrupted military operations far beyond any actual casualties. Number 23, soda cap timer bombs. A Coca-Cola bottle sits innocently on a cafe table in Pakistan, but hidden inside the cap is a timer mechanism that could turn any soda purchase into a delayed death sentence for unsuspecting civilians.
Pakistani intelligence discovered sophisticated timing devices that had been modified to fit inside standard soda bottle caps. When the cap was twisted off, it would start a countdown that could be set for anywhere from minutes to hours before detonation. The devices were small enough to avoid detection by standard security screening, but powerful enough to kill or maim anyone within close proximity when they exploded. They could be activated by the simple act of opening a drink, turning every beverage purchase into a potential assassination attempt. The technology was later adapted for use in Iraqi IEDs, where similar timer mechanisms were hidden in everyday objects like cell phones, radios, and household appliances. Coalition bomb disposal experts found dozens of these devices, each representing a potential mass casualties event. The innovation demonstrated Al-Qaeda's technical sophistication and willingness to weaponize the most mundane aspects of daily life. Every normal activity, buying a drink, answering a phone, turning on a radio, could become a death trap with the right modifications. Number 22, $10,000 bounties.
2004 Iraq-Pakistan border. Radio broadcasts in Arabic offer a simple business proposition: $10,000 cash for each American military helmet, but only if it still contains the soldier's head. The bounty system turned murder into piecework, creating financial incentives for killing American soldiers that went far beyond ideological motivation. Local fighters who might have been neutral in the conflict suddenly had economic reasons to hunt coalition forces. Intelligence agencies intercepted multiple radio transmissions advertising these bounties, with detailed instructions on how to collect payment and verify kills. The messages were broadcast on frequencies used by truck drivers and smugglers, reaching audiences across multiple countries. The psychological warfare was devastating for American forces. Every interaction with local populations became potentially lethal, as any civilian might be calculating whether $10,000 was worth the risk of attacking a soldier. This eroded trust between coalition forces and local communities. Number 21. Pope John Paul II assassination plot. January 1995, Manila. Pope John Paul II is scheduled to celebrate Mass before millions of Filipino Catholics. But hidden in the crowd are Al-Qaeda operatives with enough explosives to turn the papal visit into a massacre of the faithful. The plot was discovered during the investigation of Operation Bajinka, Al-Qaeda's plan to blow up multiple airliners simultaneously. Philippine police found detailed plans for bombing the Pope's motorcade route and the venues where he was scheduled to appear. The assassination attempt would have killed not just the Pope, but potentially thousands of Filipino Catholics gathered to see him. The bombers had positioned explosive devices along the papal route, timed to detonate when the Pope's motorcade passed by. The symbolic impact would have been devastating for the Catholic world. Killing the Pope during a religious ceremony would have been seen as an attack on Christianity itself, potentially triggering religious conflicts across multiple continents.
Number 20. 40 Virgins recruitment comics.
Hidden in online forums and passed secretly between teenagers, crude comic strips promised young Muslim men that martyrdom would reward them with 40 beautiful wives in paradise if they were willing to die killing infidels. The comics were designed to appeal to sexually frustrated young men who felt marginalized by society and unable to find girlfriends or wives through normal social interactions. The promise of sexual paradise became a recruiting tool for suicide missions. Each comic strip told the story of a young martyr who sacrificed his life in a terrorist attack and was immediately transported to a luxurious afterlife filled with beautiful women eager to serve his every desire. Number 19. Female eunuch bodyguards. In the darkest corners of deep web communication, Al-Qaeda operatives discussed purchasing surgically castrated women to serve as bodyguards, believing that removing their sexual desires would make them more loyal and less susceptible to seduction by enemies.
The conversations revealed a level of dehumanization that went beyond normal terrorist brutality. Women would be kidnapped, surgically mutilated to remove their reproductive organs and sexual capacity, then trained as personal protection operatives for high-value targets. Number 18. Uranium shopping expedition.
Mid-1990s, Khartoum. In the dusty markets of Sudan's capital, a man claiming to represent Osama bin Laden waves thick stacks of cash, asking merchants if they have yellow cake uranium for sale. The shopping expedition was part of Al-Qaeda's systematic effort to acquire nuclear materials for weapons development. Bin Laden had reportedly allocated millions of dollars specifically for purchasing uranium, plutonium, or completed nuclear devices from black market sources. Number 17. Cyanide subway gas attack. February 2003, New York City. During morning rush hour, thousands of commuters crowd into subway cars, completely unaware that cyanide gas could start pouring through the ventilation systems at any moment. The Mubtaka device was designed to mix two harmless chemicals that would become deadly cyanide gas when combined. The device could be activated remotely and was small enough to be hidden in subway maintenance areas without detection. Intelligence sources claimed that Al-Qaeda operatives had positioned these devices throughout the New York subway system and were prepared to activate them during peak commuting hours when the maximum number of people would be trapped underground with the gas.
Number 16. Anthrax cookbook PDF.
2015, somewhere in the dark web, a 30-page document appears on an encrypted forum providing step-by-step instructions for growing anthrax spores in home laboratories and mailing them to government targets. The document was sophisticated enough to include detailed photographs, chemical formulas, and safety procedures for handling deadly biological agents. It wasn't the work of an amateur. The technical knowledge suggested input from trained microbiologists or weapons experts.
Number 15. VX Nerve Gas Lab.
1998, Khartoum. The Al-Shifa pharmaceutical plant produces aspirin and antibiotics for Sudanese civilians, but intelligence agencies detect something else in the facility, VX nerve gas precursors that could kill thousands. VX is one of the most deadly chemical weapons ever created. A single drop on the skin can kill an adult within minutes through paralysis of the nervous system. Number 14, Soviet nuclear scientist recruitment, late 1990s, Azerbaijan. In a hotel conference room, Al-Qaeda representatives meet with unemployed Soviet nuclear weapons experts, offering them more money than they've ever seen in exchange for building portable atomic bombs. Number 13, 500-man suicide dormitory.
Kandahar, Afghanistan. Inside a sprawling compound, 500 men live in dormitory-style housing, receiving free food, clothing, and training. But they're not students or workers. They're suicide bombers waiting for their assignments to die.
Number 12. Child Martyrdom Video Unit. In training camps across Afghanistan and Pakistan, children as young as 8 sit in front of video cameras wearing adult-sized suicide vests, practicing their final statements before dying for Al-Qaeda's cause.
Number 11. Child soldier training tapes.
2001, Kabul. As coalition forces overrun Al-Qaeda training camps, they discover videotapes showing systematic military training programs for children under 12 years old, complete with weapons instruction and combat exercises. Number 10. Destruction of the Bamiyan Buddhas. March 2001, Afghanistan. 2 ancient Buddha statues that had watched over the Bamiyan Valley for 1,500 years are reduced to rubble by Taliban explosives with Osama bin Laden's support and encouragement. Number 9. Chlorine truck bombs. 2007, Iraq. Fuel tankers packed with chlorine gas explode in crowded marketplaces, releasing toxic clouds that burn lungs and skin, while shrapnel tears through fleeing civilians. Number 8. $20 million blood diamond empire. Deep in the diamond mines of Sierra Leone and Liberia, children as young as 8 work 18-hour shifts under armed guard, mining precious stones that will fund Al-Qaeda operations around the world. Number 7. 300 million Hawala war chest. Flowing through ancient Islamic banking networks that predate modern financial systems, $300 million in Al-Qaeda funds moves invisibly across borders, funding terrorism while remaining completely untraceable by international law enforcement.
Number 6. Taliban guest house for 500 trainees.
Peshawar, Pakistan. Separate from the Kandahar facility, another massive compound houses 500 Taliban suicide bomber trainees, complete with dining halls, weapons training areas, and bomb-making workshops funded entirely by bin Laden's network.
Number 5. Fatwa for nuclear warfare.
2003, hidden safe house. A radical Islamic cleric signs a religious decree stating that nuclear attacks against America are religiously permissible, even if they kill 10 million innocent civilians.
Number 4. Suitcase nuclear bomb shopping.
Late 1990s, former Soviet Union. Al-Qaeda agents carry briefcases containing $30 million in cash, shopping for portable nuclear weapons small enough to fit in a backpack, but powerful enough to destroy Manhattan. Number 3. Bounty system expansion. The bounty program wasn't limited to a single radio network. Across Iraq, Afghanistan, and Pakistan, multiple terrorist organizations adopted bin Laden's $10,000 payment system, turning American soldier hunting into a profitable industry. Number 2. The Trinity of Terror. August 7th, 1998. US embassies in Kenya and Tanzania explode simultaneously, killing 224 people. October 12th, 2000. USS Cole is ripped open by suicide bombers, killing 17 sailors. September 11th, 2001. 2,977 people die as hijacked planes destroy the World Trade Center and damage the Pentagon. 3 continents. 3 different attack methods. 1 mastermind coordinating mass murder across the globe while hiding in caves and safe houses.
Number 1. The unpaid $25 million reward.
May 2011, Abbottabad, Pakistan. Navy SEALs kill Osama bin Laden in a midnight raid that ends the world's most extensive manhunt. But the $25 million reward offered for information leading to his capture was never paid. The doctor who helped confirm bin Laden's location rots in a Pakistani prison. The FBI reward page was quietly stamped, deceased. So where did the money go? They say that after September 11th, bin Laden slipped back into Saudi Arabia for life-saving kidney dialysis treatment at a secure Riyadh hospital. Patient logs disappeared days before the SEALs raided Abbottabad.
If true, it means the world's most wanted terrorist received medical care in the country of his birth, while his victims' families still mourned their dead. It means that somewhere in the Saudi royal family's network of hospitals and protection, bin Laden found sanctuary.
Bin Laden died in 2011, but his shadow still inspects every airport security line, monitors every subway platform, and justifies every surveillance program that watches your daily life. The $300 million in Hawala networks continues funding terrorist operations. Airport security, subway sensors, and sky marshals cost billions annually. One dead man keeps printing invoices for the modern world. He didn't just kill 3,000 people. He changed how the entire world lives. Every terrorist since 2001 has studied his methods, adapted his tactics, and tried to exceed his body count. "We love death. The US loves life," he said in 1996. You fly, you shop, your child grasps a toy. A dead man from 2011 still shapes those moments. If his ghost tax is every breath you take, how many other dead terrorists are still steering tomorrow? How many monsters are we creating right now with our next foreign policy decision, our next military intervention, our next alliance with the wrong dictator? The war on terror never ended. It just learned to hide in plain sight, disguised as normal life in a world where everyone